Hey guys, this week Congress is on a district break, so they are most likely in a home office near you. With midterms just around the corner, many are probably very visible, out campaigning and going to events. You can use this time as a point to really speak to them and get, shoulder to shoulder to ask your questions and concerns and present them in a way that could help you decide, whether you're going to vote for them in the primary or in the election in November. With no bills being voted on this week, I'm going to give you guys the heads up on the Fiscal Year 2019 National Defense Authorization Act, or the NDAA. The NDAA passed the House of Representatives on Thursday, approving their funding plan for the military and mapping out some policy priorities for the Pentagon and the Defense Department at large. The bill, known as H.R. 5515, passed in the House with bipartisan support in a 351 to 66 vote. Representative Mac Thornberry, Republican of Texas and chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, said in a statement that for the 58th straight year, the House has passed the NDAA with overwhelming bipartisan support. The key focus of this bill is restoring readiness to ensure that when our men and women in uniform go out on a mission, they have the best equipment, the best training, and the best support our nation can provide. And it's true that the bill has largely passed without much dissent. Inside the bill are several provisions intended to increase the Navy's warfighting ability, and a recently added amendment include increasing the pace of new aircraft carrier procurement and allowing the Pentagon to purchase more F-35 Lightning II Joint Strike Fighters if the price per jet continues to decrease as it has. The NDAA also includes language reforming how surface warfare officers are trained and how forward deployed forces are organized. Military industry representatives were optimistic with funding levels approved by the House last week. In a statement, the National Defense Industry Association wrote that they expect a strong bill to promptly reach the president's desk after differences in the Senate and House versions are reconciled. They went on to say that as we face new and emerging threats, we owe it to our military's finest to support them with the latest equipment and technologies needed to counter threats they will undoubtedly meet on the battlefield. Every year, the Senate Armed Services Committee wraps up its subcommittee and full committee markups, or edits, on its version of the NDAA. Then the full Senate votes to approve that bill. From there, the two chambers have to work out the differences between their defense bills and pass a compromise language on both sides of the Hill. Let's go over the basics of this version of the bill that passed last Thursday. First, it allocates $717 billion. Now we can look at that compared to NDAAs of the past, and it's quite an increase from past versions. It also includes a provision that would authorize $65 million to develop a new low-yield nuclear weapon to be launched from submarines. The Trump administration wants the new warhead as part of its recent nuclear posture review released earlier this year. Next, the bill approves nearly 16,000 additional active duty troops across the military and provides a 2.6% pay increase for them. This is the highest such raise in 9 years. And of course, as it has in prior years, the bill includes an ever scary provision allowing for the indefinite detention of Americans. The New York Times warns that the provision could give future presidents the authority to throw American citizens into prison for life without charges or trial. Though it's important to note that this indefinite detention provision, first passed in 2012, was based on an authorization to use military force after 9/11. So theoretically, the NDAA's provision only applied to some people involved with 9/11 or who substantially supported the Al-Qaeda and Taliban and associated forces in those attacks. But that could change, and we'll tell you how in our next video. If you want to learn how or want to continue to see coverage of what's happening on the Hill, become a member of Daily Cloud. If you're already a member, thanks, and I'll see you next week on This Week in Congress.